Today, we're going to talk about how to look younger. And so in 6 months, I'm going to have my birthday and I'm going to be 40. Okay. So I'm going into the 40s pretty scary because that's kind of old. I've been 39 for over a year. I guess it's time to graduate. And I'm being super sarcastic because I'm not 39. I'm actually 59 and 6 months. I'll be 60 and it's kind of weird because 60 seems like you're old. But I don't feel old. I don't feel 60. I feel probably 32. And I remember I was in practice. I did a lot of seminars. And one of the seminars I did was in an assisted living home. There was a patient who lived there. She'd come to see me. And she says, "Would you come to my assisted living home and do a seminar?" So I did. When I got there, there was a room full of people that looked really old. Some of those people in that room were in their 60s, and looking back on it, I'm like, that's mind-blowing to actually go into an assisted living home when you're 60. I can't wrap my wits around that. That's just wild. Apparently some people age faster than others. Today, we're going to talk about how to reverse that whole process. The number one anti-aging mistake that so many people make, and that is to avoid the sun and wear sunblock 365 days out of the year. I mean, think about it. Human beings have evolved for eons being exposed to the sun. And now we're supposed to live in the darkness. Why are they telling people to avoid the sun? Because of something called ultraviolet radiation. Okay, UV, and it basically makes up only 3% of all of the wavelengths. 37% is the visible light spectrum. And then we have nearly 60% infrared. Infrared is super therapeutic to your body. Some people have infrared machines, but you can get infrared for free from being in the sun in the early morning and also in the late afternoon. So, regarding the review, there's different kinds of UVA that can very easily go through the clouds. So, even if it's a cloudy day, it's going through. There is some association with those rays as well as the aging of your skin. There's melanin, which is a pigment that's a natural sun blocker that's going to create a tanning effect if you're in the sun repetitively. Now UVB has everything to do with making vitamin D. What's really interesting about these sun blockers is that they mainly block out the UVB. They don't really make them filter out that UVA. The rays that affect aging. And when your skin gets enough, you're going to notice the skin's going to get hotter. Basically telling you it's time to go in the shade. UV is dangerous. If you're going out in the sun and getting burned and you're doing that repetitively, even the UVA radiation has some benefits. It can increase something called nitric oxide that increases blood flow, that increases circulation to the skin. People have this question about what about skin cancer? Okay, melanoma. What's interesting about melanomas is that we've been decreasing the amount of sun exposure for quite some time. But melanoma has been increasing by a factor of 3,000%. Also, melanoma skin cancer usually occurs in areas that are not exposed to the sun. Is it really the sun that's causing melanomas? Or could it be related to a lack of vitamin D? Also BDNF. This is something that is in the brain, and BDNF actually increases with exposure to the sun. And so when you're getting exposure to the sun, you're getting a lot of melatonin in the cells. And that's a very powerful antioxidant. However, in the winter, many places around Earth do not allow you to get in the UV radiation to make vitamin D. If you're trying to get vitamin D through your window, your glass window, you're not going to get vitamin D. It gets filtered out. So this idea that the UV is so bad for your skin is completely not true. Other advice that you're told to make your skin look youthful is to use a good moisturizer. I hope you're reading the ingredients on these moisturizers because they are filled with just tons of chemicals. They start drying out the skin because of the alcohol and the mineral oil that pulls out the fat-soluble vitamins from your skin. When you put this stuff in your skin, it gets absorbed into the bloodstream and it ends up in your liver, consuming synthetic antioxidants that can create more problems on your skin. Consuming sugar. It's going to age the skin very fast. Another thing you have to be careful about is overwashing your face with soap. Some people think that they have to wash their face with soap every day and all that detergent is very harsh on the skin. It's going to age the skin mainly because you have a microbiome, good bacteria around your skin. You don't want to get rid of that chlorine and tap water, which is very harsh on your skin. You want to get a filter on your shower. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is antibiotics. They create some serious problems with your skin, not just talking about just antibiotics that you have taken. I'm talking about other things that act like an antibiotic, birth control pills and acids. Those are for acid reflux, steroids, statins. Okay, now this next part is fascinating. There is a hormone that can increase the stem cells for your skin and just making your skin look awesome. Stem cells are undifferentiated. They haven't really turned into anything. And those stem cells are triggered by oxytocin. Now, wait a second, oxytocin, they call it the love hormone, but they really should call it the health hormone because it has huge regenerative properties. It creates all sorts of cool effects that help people, bond. To be more social, to feel more calm. How do we increase oxytocin? I did a video on this and there's a lot of ways to increase it, but the one that I'm going to talk about is just really cool. And that is basically taking a very specific microbe. Okay. And growing it in a culture that ends up looking like yogurt. What you have to realize is when you destroy the microbiome, whether it is taking an antibiotic or some other way, there are certain microbes that end up never coming back. And one of the key microbes that doesn't come back is called. And so this microbe that's been lost in 96% of the population because of the antibiotics and the other effects needs to be reseeded. It has an effect on wound healing, which is wild. L-redury in large amounts, 300 billion quantities that you'll make in a yogurt maker, and you can take a half a cup of this at night. I've been taking it for about 3 weeks and I have to say, my sleep is incredible. I feel incredibly low stress. The next thing is cold immersion on your face. Now whether you have a cold immersion tank or just a bucket of ice water and you put your face in it for let's say 10 seconds or even less than that. That is super healthy for rejuvenating your skin on your face. It's going to increase blood flow. It's going to tighten the pores. It's going to stimulate collagen. I mean, you're just going to have to test it out. And of course, exercise is very, very important for anti-aging, especially of your skin. And lastly, facial exercises can make you look young as well. And these involve all sorts of myofascial stretches because we really don't exercise the face muscles. And on that note, thanks for watching. And I will see you in the next video.